People keep asking me if I'm gonna do a review. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a review. Hey, what's up, everybody? We just saw John Wick, and it was pretty good. Now, I'm hesitant to say that it was good, because what it really was some awesome action scenes sprinkled over a mediocre to, and most of the time, cliche movie.
Definitely, I think the shining jewel, the crown jewel in this film is the fight choreography and the cinematography for the action sequences.
So awesome.
I would say, aside from Captain America 2, it's probably the best fight sequences we've seen, like hand-to-hand combat type fighting we've seen this year. So definitely, if you're a fan of action films with a lot of one-on-one or 6-on-1 fights,
lone gunman style
yeah.
shooting. It's like, it was really like just really simple, one man, one gun,
Yeah.
lots of bad guys, really straightforward action. And what I liked about it was they most of the time, whenever you're doing an action scene, you do a bunch of quick cuts.
Yeah.
And you do shaky cam to disguise the fact that
Just
you don't...
kind of piece it together and make it look like a lot's going on.
Yeah, to disguise the fact that you're really not doing anything creative.
No.
These guys took the exact opposite approach. The shooting style is really simple. It's actually really on the simple side.
Yeah.
Not a lot of cuts. They let the action play out because they've got cool stuff happening and interesting and creative action scenes happening.
A lot of really cool stunts. I mean, Keanu Reeves' character is very acrobatic in this one.
Yes, there's lots of tossing and tumbling.
It's
and
kind of
rolling
like
around.
a Brazilian jiu-jitsu kind of thrown in there with like the old equilibrium style gun kata.
Yeah, it was a little toned down from gun kata, but
Yeah.
it had that same feel to it.
It gave him that sort of I'm very clean and precise with my movements kind of feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I said, some of the shots are like way longer than you'd see in any action scene, but just like the tension is there. The tension is all in the choreography, it's not in the shooting style. So the camera guys took a back seat to what was what the choreographers were doing with the actual action scenes.
Well,
so that was by far the best element of this movie.
I can't remember the last time I've seen an entire movie based on the premise of he shot my dog or what, what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I will say this, that part of it to me didn't come off nearly as cheesy as it could have.
Yeah. I think the way they did it was the best way you could have done that kind of storyline.
They made it believable.
Yeah, but it was still. I mean, at times it felt like really loose. Like you are going really far down this road for this dog.
I mean, going into this, that this is a film that someone from the trailer. Yeah. Someone hurts a guy, he wants to get revenge. Yeah. Violence ensues. You don't go into that kind of movie expecting like a world-class script or Oscar-nominated acting or anything like that. It is exactly what you expect, and I think it delivers on that expectation. Yeah,
those managed expectations. If you go in with the right expectations, this is going to be a great, really fun time for you. Yeah. I mean, but just like the bad guy, he was really weak. I didn't really he wasn't bad enough. If that makes sense. It wasn't bad enough for me. And Keanu Reeves, now one thing I will say, they kept Keanu Reeves inside of his acting range. Yes. For the most part. There was one scene where I was like, kind of stretching it there, Keanu, but for the most part he was like within the bounds of what he can do.
Yeah, it seemed like this was a script that was crafted around a role tailored for Keanu Reeves. Yeah. Keanu Reeves, a lot of people like to dog on him because, he's been in The Lake House and some other stuff. He doesn't have the best range and everything, but just like in The Matrix, he played Neo to a T. He was great at that character. Now, could you've seen another action star add more dimensions to it and everything? Sure. But for the way this was written, for the way they had the role crafted, he did a very good job. And I thought it was believable. One thing on the bad guy, and we were talking about this coming out of the theater, is I think part of the reason is they kind of they kind of neutered the bad guy in the way that they crafted the persona of the John Wick character.
Yeah.
Because Keanu Reeves is obviously athletic and he's in good shape and everything, but he's not like he walks up to you on the street and he's a stranger to you. You're not going to be like, "Ooh, this guy's intimidating." He doesn't have that physicality to him.
Yeah.
But the way all the other supporting characters in the film are intimidated by the legend that is this guy and his reputation, it almost set it up as his adversaries are afraid of him from the get-go. So it's kind of hard to see them as guys that are just going to take him out and he's facing overwhelming odds. Yeah. You know from the get-go, he can handle it. Yeah,
that was one of the redeeming qualities of the story, was that they did a good job of setting up his character as like a believable guy who can, really cause some trouble for this, these criminals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I mean, a few times I felt like they were overselling it, but for the most part, I mean, they did a good job of building up his character, making it believable that he's going to, cause havoc for, like, all these people, you know what I mean?
And he does.
Yeah, yes. So,
what did you not like about it?
I didn't like the bad guys. I didn't like some of the story cliches. The acting wasn't awesome. It wasn't for the most part. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't spectacular. It wasn't spectacular.
Would you say it was action movie caliber?
Yes. I mean, it was acceptable.
Yeah.
Acceptable acting across the board. That's the highest rating I can give the acting.
That's kind of what I thought of. Yeah. When the credits started rolling, I was like, that was. The acting was perfectly adequate for an action flick.
Yes, adequate.
Yeah.
So overall, what do you think of the movie?
It's I would say this for an action film, if that's what you're looking for, and that's what obviously I went in with those expectations. We've talked about that before. Set your expectations right.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting, and I felt it delivered. I thought it was for an action film. It was. It was good. It was a good film, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, same here. Action is great. If you go in, just focus on the action. It's going to be a fun time. But because of some of the story cliches and some of the acting inadequacies, the most I can give this movie, well, my initial impression is a 6 out of 10. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with a 6.5. Now let me qualify that and understand. Just because it's not like a 9 or a 9.5, like some of these other films we've seen.
Is like a 9.
Yeah, this is just because it's not on par with something like a Captain America 2 or Guardians of the Galaxy or The Dark Knight or Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah, some other really great ones that we've seen. Recently, just because it's not that. This is apples and oranges. You don't go into this film expecting that. I was expecting somewhere between a 5 and a 6 based on the whole package, and it delivered, and it actually exceeded what I was expecting. So I'm going to say 6.5. I'd say, hey, if you're a guy looking for a good couple hours to spend at the movies watching some cool action, and hey, I'm going to get you back for what you did type movie.
Yeah.
It's a great time.
Yeah, I say see it in theaters. Good enough to see it in theaters, definitely. All right, that'll do it for us. Check back here for more views, and we will see you next time.